sip of my water, my polar seltzer. Pomegranate champagne, what a flavor. This is not sponsored, but look how cool. Look how cool it looks with my nails. Ah! It's cold. Too cold. Hi there everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel and I'm a real estate agent and advisor here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania with RE/MAX 360 Realty. So today I am going to be talking about a subject that might be on some people's minds if they're planning on moving to Pittsburgh maybe within the next couple months. As we all know, it is getting into winter season here in Pittsburgh, or it's going to be getting into winter season. We are obviously currently in the throes of fall, which is my favorite season here because the weather's pretty good. It's a little chilly, but the leaves are changing and it is just such a beautiful fall experience here that you get on the East Coast in the Northish area. So yeah, I don't know if the southern states or somewhere like California or on the West Coast, I don't know if they get falls like this, but they're really, really beautiful and vibrant here in Pittsburgh and in Pennsylvania in general. So I am going to be talking about how to handle winter here in Pittsburgh. If you are unfamiliar with the winters here in the Northeast of America, or if you are just unfamiliar with how winters operate here in Pittsburgh, which is a little bit different from some other places that get snow. Now, before we begin, I have to ask you that if you are moving to Pittsburgh, or if you are considering a move to Pittsburgh, to please give me a call at 412-926-0806 or email me at the email below. And I would be so happy to help you on your home search journey. I help so many people. I get calls every single day about moving to Pittsburgh, and I absolutely love helping people move here. This is my home. I was born and raised here, so I'm very knowledgeable about the Pittsburgh area. And again, this is my life, this is my work, my career, my passion, and I just love helping people move here and discover the beauty and the liveliness of Pittsburgh. So again, that's 412-926-0806, or you can email me at the email below, and again, I'd be so happy to help you on your journey here. Let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is something that's going to be on everybody's mind. Like, it's going to be the first thing on their list, it's going to be the first thing on their radar, because if you know anything about Pittsburgh, you know the reason it's different from a lot of other places that get snow is because we have so many hills, and not just, hills like this. Like this. They're like hills like this. They're steep hills.
Steep.
And that can cause problems when you're driving in the snow. And while it doesn't snow too much here, it does snow maybe like some winters it's like a light moderate amount, other winters it's a heavy moderate amount. But if you've ever had to drive in the snow up or down a hill, it is absolutely terrifying. And I can guarantee you that you're gonna have to do that at least once or twice in any given winter here in Pittsburgh. And one thing you should know before moving here is how to drive in the snow. You should be prepared to drive in the snow. You should maybe try and learn how to drive in the snow if you can. All-wheel drive, it's gonna be your best friend. I would not recommend even having a car without it here, or at least some snow tires to help you get around. There are ways in which you can avoid the hills here when you're driving in the snow, but it is very difficult to do because they are everywhere, and unless you're a local, you may have trouble finding those routes. So that's the first thing you need to know about moving to Pittsburgh is be prepared to drive in the snow. It can be treacherous, it can be dangerous. I know there have been accidents going up and down hills just because cars have trouble braking when there's snow and ice on the road. We do a pretty good job of salting our roads here, but again, it's not foolproof. There's some roads they simply can't get to because the trucks are too large or there's too many cars on the street. Especially in the city of Pittsburgh, it can be really treacherous driving in the snow because they don't have the tax dollars to allocate like the boroughs and townships do. So it can be tricky with snow removal here whenever there's less aid provided. So that's just something to watch out for and be aware of because, again, it can be very, very, very dangerous to drive in the snow here. The number 2 thing you need to know about living here in the winter is obvious. It's going to be cold. The average temperature, I think, in the winter is around 32 degrees. It can range from 20 degrees or so to 40 degrees or so, and it can fluctuate greatly in between those 2 temperatures at any given time. The weather in Pittsburgh is very mercurial. It's mercurial basically all year round. It can be like, you know, raining or snowing or sunny, or you just never know when that's going to happen because, you know, where we are located geographically makes the weather really, really tricky. But overall, cold. Yes, it's going to be cold. One of the things that contributes the most to the cold is the wind chill, which is often worse than the actual cold itself because we are surrounded by 3 rivers. We have those blasting cold, chilly, sharp winds coming at us, especially if you live high up on a hill. Those winds can be brutal. So that is definitely something to prepare for. But I wouldn't say that it's better or worse than anywhere else in the Northeast. Well, actually, I take that back. I mean, if you live in Chicago, if you live in Minnesota or Wisconsin or Michigan, the cold is definitely going to be worse. But it's cold here. I can't lie about that. It's going to be cold. Although I will say, we are getting historically warmer weather than we're used to for the most part in the winters here. So there has been less snow and there has been less cold overall. But yeah, it's gonna remain cold here in the winters. The next thing you need to know about living here in the winter or moving here in the winter is it ties in a little bit with the cold weather. Our houses here in Pittsburgh can be very old. A lot of them are 1900s, 1910, 1920, 1930s construction. My home, the one I'm in right now, is, I think it was built in 1945, maybe 50. It is very poorly insulated on one side of the house, and I need to start doing drastic measures come this winter because I have been getting chilblains on my feet in the winter because of how drafty my house is.
Oh, it hurts!
It's not uncommon here, not by a long shot, to have a very, very drafty house in which you have to take extra measures to keep it warm and reduce your gas bill and your electricity bill. So that is definitely a problem that people have living here, especially if they're renters and they don't understand how the cold works inside drafty houses, inside old houses, because a lot of the trendy areas that people like to rent, my gosh, the houses are old. They're so old. And your landlords, they're not going to do anything to make it warmer for you in here. Forget it. It's not going to happen. So you're kind of on your own there. So it's really good to know, if you are in an older house, like maybe built before 1970, it's going to be probably a pretty drafty house just because they didn't insulate them the way they should have back when they were built. And old houses just have, problems. They have problems in general that cause them to be drafty. So definitely something to prepare for and budget for if you are going to be living here in the winter. The 4th thing you need to know about living in Pittsburgh during the winter is kind of obvious. Well, it's obvious to me, but it might not be obvious to somebody that's coming from Florida, California, or a sunny state. It is so dreary here in the winter. I mean, if we have 7 days a week, 5 of them are probably going to be pretty dreary in the winter. The summer is a little bit better. I'd say the summer probably has about 4 days of sunshine, but in the winter, 5 or 6 days of dreariness. I mean, and this goes on for months and months and months and months. And then when you add the daylight savings or the lack of daylight savings, you push your clocks back or forward. I can't remember which, but it gets dark very early here. At the end of December, it's like so depressing, and the only thing you have to look forward to is Christmas. But it gets dark, it's dreary, it's cold, it's just very little sunlight. And that can be depressing for some people. Like, I think that some people might not be well suited to live here only because of that. And if you need a lot of sunshine to feel happy, then Pittsburgh might not be your place, because it's just, even today, I'm filming this and, you know, that's how I got my inspiration for the winter. It's like, oh my God, winter weather is coming. I can see it out the window. It's foggy, it's dreary, it's dark. I have to have all my lights on in my house. So yeah, it's like, oh, we're getting prepared for this kind of weather. It doesn't bother me that much because I've lived here my whole life, and you know, I don't love it. I don't love certain times of the year when it gets very dark very early. Don't love that. But yeah, something to be aware of. Very dreary here in the winter. The fifth thing you need to know about living here in the winter is actually positive. It is a great place to live if you like to ski or snowboard or do any winter sports or outdoor winter activities. We have a lot of skiing ranges within an hour of Pittsburgh where you can ski and snowboard and have fun in the snow. And it's honestly a really great time. And while they're not the most intense, black diamond, steep, athletic, crazy slopes in America, I mean, I think that would belong to the Colorado area of America. It's still a lot of fun for the family, and it gives you something to do in the winter if you want to go outside and experience some outdoor activities, or if you want to like go outside and get as much vitamin D as you can. Skiing and snowboarding is a great way to do that, and I've been skiing once myself here, and I'm definitely a novice. I'd love to go again, and it was super fun, but we definitely have those hills in those mountain ranges here in Pennsylvania for you to accomplish your skiing and snowboarding fun goals. So that will do it for my video today. If you have any questions about living in Pittsburgh, moving to Pittsburgh in the winter, moving to Pittsburgh in the summer, moving to Pittsburgh right now in the fall, moving to Pittsburgh within a month, please call me 412-926-0806 or email me at the email below. Please like this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you would like to see more content. Receiving those subscriptions and those likes really keeps me going. I wouldn't be able to keep this channel going if I didn't have, you know, the support of my viewership, and I've been receiving a lot of feedback lately on things that you'd like to see or things that maybe aren't working, and that is super, super helpful, and it is helping me create the content that you all need to see so that you can successfully gain the most vital information you can about moving to Pittsburgh and living in Pittsburgh. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.